After Charlottesville, President Trump did something horrific. He came out and blamed many sides. And he said that there were very fine people on the alt-right side of that white nationalist event that included the Klan, the neo-Nazis, and other white pride, white power movements that chanted deeply anti-Semitic, racist, and homophobic chants. And he said that there were people that were very violent on the side of the people who were run over, the counter-protesters, the people protesting fascists and Nazis in America. So it was grotesque. I asked for mass resignations. A lot of people asked for mass resignations. There were a lot of excuses, which we covered earlier this week on the program, where people were telling Axios, they had a good story about it, inside the administration go, well, I mean, look, the president would do things that are even dumber if we weren't around. So plus, this is a nice cushy job and I have a lot of power, so I'm not gonna leave. Those are the unprincipled people. But you might not have heard about it, but there has been a ton of resignations that borders on mass resignations. It's just not being reported very much. Now, you did hear about the Manufacturing Council, that's the CEOs, that started leaving one by one, the Under Armour CEO, the Intel CEO, the Merck CEO, on and on, until Trump had to go, yeah, I didn't want a Manufacturing Council anyway, I'm disbanding it. And then the Strategy and Policy Forum with deeply Republican and Trump supporters on it, and also CEOs and financial people, did a phone call and decided, no, we gotta leave. I'm telling you, even some of the biggest Republican donors were like, no, this is reprehensible. And they disbanded the group. After they disbanded the group, Trump came out with a tweet saying, the Strategy and Policy Forum, I never wanted it anyway. No, I'm disbanding it. No, you didn't do it, they did it. So those two groups are already gone, but now there's more people resigning. 7 members of the National Infrastructure Advisory Council, which includes Obama appointees, resigned this week, citing Trump's Charlottesville response and other issues. So what does this council do? Well, the National Infrastructure Advisory Council is made up of presidential appointees from the private sector, academia, and government, and was originally founded in 2001 under President George W. Bush. It advises the president on security, including cybersecurity for critical infrastructure like water systems. Well, now 7 out of the 27 members of that council have left the building. I'm gonna give you their exact quote in a second, but let me give you a sense of the relevant players here. One of them was Kristen Dorgello. She was the former chief of staff at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy under Obama. Then you have DJ Patil, former White House chief data scientist. A lot of the scientists leaving the building. Christy Goldfuss, former managing director of the White House Council on Environmental Quality. They couldn't take it anymore. They explain here at HuffPo, the Trump administration has not shown itself to be, quote, adequately attentive to the pressing national security matters within the NIAC's purview or responsive to sound advice, the resigning council members wrote. In other words, it doesn't matter what you tell the president, he's never gonna listen anyway. Doesn't matter if it's a former Obama appointee, of course he's not gonna listen to that person. Scientists, you guys are telling me climate change exists. I know it's a Chinese hoax. He doesn't even listen to his own advisors. His own advisors said, hey, you should do a clean debt ceiling vote. He comes out the next day going, no, that's it, we're not gonna do a clean debt ceiling vote. It's Mitch McConnell's fault, it's Paul Ryan's fault, and I wanna build a wall, and I'm gonna hold everything hostage until I do. The guy doesn't listen to any advice, and let alone sound advice. The resigning members also wrote a little bit more strongly now, your actions have threatened the security of the homeland I took an oath to protect. And so they have left. Now remember that these are not the only resignations. You got these, you got the ones I told you about before. Trump also ended plans for another advisory council on infrastructure last week. And then every member of the White House Arts Committee resigned. Look, I don't know what your thoughts on arts are and cybersecurity and infrastructure and manufacturing. I think some might consider more important, but every part of the government matters, and I think every one of these resignations matters. So God bless the Arts Committee for saying, no, I'm not gonna be part of a White House that equivocates on neo-Nazis. I'm just not gonna do it. So they're gone. And then a science envoy for the State Department also sent a resignation letter to Trump on Wednesday that contained a not so subtle secret message: impeach. So the artists have left, the scientists have left, The businessmen have left. Almost anyone with any degree of sanity or decency has already left the building. That doesn't leave you much. It leaves the ghouls, the goblins, and the deplorables still backing Donald Trump. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.